Hey everyone, good morning. I'm really excited to have my good friend and one of the most expert in her field. She is Stephanie Barnier from Clear Sky Wealth. Stephanie, thanks for being here today.
Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, you just started your new business. I know you've been in the industry for a while, but you just created your own firm. Tell us about it.
I just started a firm called Clear Sky Wealth, founded last month. But I've been in the industry for 10 years, over a decade. I started at Morgan Stanley and moved into a space where we are CFPs and more of the planning aspect and investment management to launching my own registered investment advisory firm.
I mean, that in itself is quite a feat. I mean, you basically, a very rigid industry, and then to sort of break out on your own must have been, tell us what went through your mind. Tell us the challenges, tell us the good, the bad stuff.
Sure, I've heard everything. It can't be done, it's not possible. And I had those feelings too. So to kind of give an idea of what it feels like, I spent a lot of time growing up on lakes. I grew up in Arizona, and we went to the lake in the summertime just to cool off. We water skied, we camped, we boat, and where it was safe, we did cliff jumping. Some cliffs were higher than others, and the highest one always made me nervous. I would stand up there for hours, analyzing it, looking at it, scared to jump. And that feeling, everything before you actually jump, that goes through your body, and every nerve in your body and your blood is just like, is this real? Is nothing compared to the actual jump, is the easy part. But it's everything building up to that. So starting your firm, I think, is very similar. It felt that way to me. You could stand in the doorway, you could watch, learn everything you need to know, analyze the situation, and then sometimes you just need to jump.
Gotcha. I mean, I'm sure there's people on that rock when you were younger that didn't jump, that went back down, that some of them needed to be pushed, right? So I mean, it's all across the gamut. But I mean, what advice would you say for other female entrepreneurs that want to sort of break out in their field, that want to do their own thing?
I'm a big advocate, especially for women chartering their practices, whatever it might be in any industry, honing their skill set, becoming an expert, because women are the cornerstone of families. So if they're able to still have their work set going and take care of their children and also be there with their husband, it is the perfect blend for families. I have found that. And my book will come out the end of this year. I'm excited about that piece. But the advice I would give is there is a plethora of information out there. The internet is such an amazing source. People willing to connect and communicate and share their knowledge. And they want people to be successful. I think we're in a much different era than we have been in the past.
Absolutely. And for you, was there this point that sort of made you jump? Was it like a pain point? Was it like a need point? What sort of, because I heard entrepreneurs are sort of born in a time of desperation, or they're born in a time of need. What was that turning point for you that was like, okay, I'm going independent, I'm going to do this myself? What was that?
I think it was just having children. And always having that dream that one day, when I started in the business in 2007, I said, in 10 years, I'm going to have my own business. And that 10 years kind of just came so quickly. And I had 2 kids, and I said, what kind of role model do I want to be for them? What do I want them to have and do with their lives that they have really no fear? And that's what I had to really overcome, is the fear part of owning a practice, being the entrepreneur, taking wonderful care of clients that I'm so privileged to work with, knowing the industry, studying investments, what's making the market move one direction or another, what's causing volatility, just being in every aspect of it.
I love that you have that mindset, but you're also a collegiate athlete. So talk to us about that, for making that transition from being an athlete and then transitioning to business and finance.
Yeah, I played soccer at the University of San Diego, and it was a lifestyle. Soccer, school, and more soccer, and sometimes sleep, and a few parties in between. But it is a total focus, and any entrepreneur, any person can be whatever they truly want to be. That's what I honestly believe that, but it takes that focus and that vision.
And you feel like sports has given you that? Sports giving you that focus?
Yes, and that was my first career of life and success, and setting records at USD and playing with my full heart and my full soul and my full potential. And I didn't really reach that until the end of my soccer career. So that was a blessing for me. I wasn't a great high school student, soccer player.
Yeah.
And then went into college, and I became even more of a superstar there. So that was such a fun success in my life. And so this chapter is that next piece of
you also have to have focus, yeah.
It's the next chapter from being an athlete and shining to being a business woman and shining.
And talk to me about that influences that have made you help that transition.
With soccer, that was my identity. So when I came out, I had a huge shift I had to make to making business the identity. But the beautiful thing about business and soccer, it's very similar, it's identical. You're working with people in the community, you're collaborating ideas, how can you support people and bring them up and to that level where they want to be and you want to be operating. It's just like a soccer game, being in business for myself and working with amazing entrepreneurs like yourself and collaborating with people.
Fantastic. And so you've been in finance, you've been in wealth management now for a long time, and you now went from the big firms to kind of going independent. So to talk to me about wealth management in general, talk to us about wealth creation. I mean, because those are big words, they have a lot of meaning to different people. What is your opinion about those two aspects?
Wealth is something where you have a vision to building and growing your financial well-being. If it's through business or it's through sports and how people want to support their financial well-being, it all takes that first piece of the vision. When you started your business, what's the vision for real estate? And then what's the result is the money of how many people you've served, right? How many deals that you have been that creative to put together and have worked out. And some deals don't, but the ones that do provide the financial needs. So the wealth creation part of it is the result of having a wonderful, successful
service.
Exactly.
In parallel is the wealth management. So.
Right. When you have a vision in business, bringing somebody in, whether it's in the tax side, the attorney side, those people, a wealth planner, wealth advisor, those people that share your vision, that you can truly feel that they're on the same playing field with you and are there for obviously your best interest. They're right in the game with you. Those are the people that you want to have on your team, because when that wealth comes in and you've created it and you want it managed as aligned with your views and your values, that's only going to support you.
Is there a fundamental philosophy in wealth management that you have or that people in the industry have? I mean, do you sort of take what the client's looking for or do you kind of sort of share more of your own vision and strategy?
That's a great question, because the industry makes it very complex, right? It makes it, this is such complex information that you can't possibly understand it. Well, I'm going to sum it up for you very quickly. There's 5 areas to invest. There's real estate, stocks, bonds, commodities, and cash. That's it. Those are the 5 areas to invest. Under each of those categories, there's various areas to invest. Commercial real estate, residential, a publicly traded real estate, which is called a REIT, a privately traded REIT. So there's a lot of vehicles under those 5 areas to invest. But when people keep it that simple and look at it from a 30,000-foot view and then break it down, that's the approach that I take and make it ready.
So you
to digest.
diversify amongst those 5 buckets essentially, or categories. I love that. So, and what about for your philosophy? I mean, with regarding dealing with clients, I know you deal with a lot of athletes. You deal with a lot of successful business people. Talk to us about some of the challenges with dealing with the high net worth clientele.
With people that have a lot of ideas coming their way or a ton of skill set on the field or on the court, they have a lot of different changes that take place in their lives. So they have a new idea, a new way of doing business. And what we do is we revisit that every 6 months. Hey, this is what we had 6 months together. These were your visions. This was for your wealth. Is that still in place? Is there another route that you want to take? And if it's true, what if it is, are we taking from 6 months ago and keeping in alignment? Sometimes the investment side of that stays the same. Sometimes the investment strategy is different.
I mean, does everybody need a wealth manager?
I would say yes. At every stage, there's an area where somebody can have a wealth advisor. Wealth planning is not just for the high net worth. They're for anybody starting out, coming out of college, possibly tackling student debt, starting a business, how to fund it. So at each stage, there is a place for a wealth planner, a wealth advisor to meet the client where they're at.
Tell us about the market. I mean, what's going on? Where are the opportunities?
There's always an opportunity somewhere, is what we say in our industry. I always kind of joke, like, how do you invest? Right? Even in your industry.
Yeah.
How are you investing? Where there's opportunity or there's a sale in an area that nobody really wants to be a part of. Start dipping into that. You wouldn't push your whole portfolio there, right? You wouldn't buy that one building that's the cheapest on the block. and put all your eggs in one basket. There's a reason that it might be so cheap, but there also might be a reason that it's inexpensive because people want to chase the hot dot in the other building, the big shiny building down the street. Same with stocks, bonds, the markets overall. In the course of what has been overloved in this industry, and here we are at the beginning of 2018, everybody has loved bonds over the past 10 years. That's starting to shift a little bit, and bonds are becoming on sale, so to speak.
Great. And what about the equity markets? And what are you seeing? I mean, we're seeing the Dow Jones at record prices, and we're seeing new tax law that's come into place. I mean,
yeah. What's interesting about markets is nobody's ever going to ring a bell and say, put your money in or take your money out. It is a process. It's sometimes gradual. It's sometimes fast. Sometimes it's shoring up cash. Sometimes it's finding perfect opportunities in growing spaces, whether it be domestically here in the U.S., emerging markets, countries that are not as developed as ours, such as Korea or India, China, South America, areas in South America too, those emerging markets, or even some of the developed countries that haven't seen the growth that we have, like Europe hasn't seen that type of economic growth that we've seen over the past 15 months. Our tax reform has something to do with it. It's add some firepower to pockets of the corporations to hire more people, give raises, give bonuses. So we're also experiencing that at the beginning of this year.
So you're quite bullish on the market and the economy at the moment, or are you kind of more in a reserved approach?
I'm in a constant place of research. Let's put it that way. I'm in a place of everybody is at their specific point of their lives, and some are in that growth mode, and they have opportunities to be in growth spaces, those emerging markets that I mentioned to you. Some folks are in preservation mode, where they're starting to see opportunities in bonds that we haven't seen in the past decade, 3 decades. So that's an opportunity for them. There's not a one-fit answer for everything.
I love it. Stephanie, your wisdom and your depth of knowledge in this field is amazing. For those of you who want to hear more from Stephanie, where can they go? How can they get in contact with you?
My website is clearskywealth.com, and our phone number is 619-490-6629.
Thanks again, Stephanie. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Enjoyed it.
Taking the time.
Appreciate it.